So it's a great pleasure that we're here at Silverstone, not only with this comp short wheelbase here, but also Jackie Oliver that's joined us to give us his driving impressions and a bit of feedback on this car that he really knows quite well, don't you, Jackie?
It's lovely to be reunited with it again at the sunny Silverstone. Last time I was in this pit road, driving out, particularly driving back in again, we won the TT at the Silverstone Classic with it last year, with a big hard race against the E-Types. And there was a bit of sadness today as well, Max, because maybe this is the last time I will see it.
Oh, you've spent a lot of time behind the wheel and did a lot of laps on this car, and very competitively. Tell me all about the driving abilities of it.
And such a nice car to drive. It's so well balanced. Right? That V12 engine just sings. The fans love them. I mean, we took it to Goodwood.
Yeah.
Every year, Lord Mark says, "Oh, come on, bring Rowe and you along to the short wheelbase to do the revival."
Right.
And the fans loved it, because it's not in a showroom anymore, right? It's actually racing in anger. It's a beautiful car to drive.
It's great to see these cars that were winning in period, and they were winning in the 60s in the races and GT racing, and then today you take it out again and you're out on the track and it's still competitive and still winning in its class. I think that's where this car really comes alive, is when you see it go by on the track.
Looks good, doesn't it?
It looks good.
In yellow,
sounds
it looks
great.
good.
Oh, it's to die for. We took it out actually just last week, and I have to say, I had the pleasure of driving it, and when you're behind the wheel, it's got that big sort of Ferrari steering wheel with the wood trim, and it just feels so light and precise. I was really impressed with the handling capabilities of the car. I was surprised at how good it was. I really was.
The thing is, the cars of this period in the 60s, you can see the lovely wire wheels, the skinny tyres. This corner here, right, woodcut,
yeah,
which is easily flat out in a modern car. Right? Here it drifts through, four-wheel slide across the road.
That's a short wheelbase.
Nice to watch. Beautiful to actually sit behind the wheel and experience.
And I guess being the competition version, so alloy body and lighter chassis, it probably helps the handling as well, doesn't it? It all contributes.
Well, you look inside the car here, because you just see some of the really nice features. I mean, the twin pipes from the V12 out the back.
Actually, great.
Normally the view my competitors had. There we have the interior of the car. The Prancing Horse logo. I
love that crackle dash. It's sort of so simple, yet it has everything that you need there, doesn't it? All the dials there, you can see it. It's just, and that gearbox.
That's the other thing about old classic cars, is that lovely feel of double declutching, so you can drop down to second gear and then accelerate through. It's great to race, nice to drive to the pub on a Sunday.
That is, isn't it?
There's not many race cars you can do that with now.
There we go, the ultimate dual-purpose Ferrari. I mean, and it just looks great. I'll tell you what, when you turn up to the pub with this car, all your friends will be like,
want to pull the bonnet and have a look inside?
Let's have a look inside.
Because I never get to do this bit, Max. I always have someone else to do it. If I can find the
let me help you with that.
safety catch. You see, you say that I'm a driver, not a mechanic. But there you are. There's the lovely 3-litre V12.
That cold airbox to ram the air in and get more power. Oh, it's just, this is it, isn't it? This is as good as it gets.
It's the heart of a 250 short wheelbase.
That's right.
That's it. Front engine car that was very well balanced.
And that V12 Ferrari engine, huh?
Yeah. And you've got good power range from 3,000 to 7.5. It's perfect for racing, classic car racing. That's why we were so successful with it. And
in period as well. I mean, these cars in the 60s were very, very successful as well. I mean, Sterling Moss at Goodwood winning the in a competition short wheelbase. Yeah, it's a fabulous the Ferrari V12 when it's really singing down the straight. It really sounds great, doesn't it? It's quite something, I have to say. Now that we're here, Jackie, I mean, would you take me out for a lap around Silverstone in the car?
Max, it would be a pleasure.
Well, let's do that.
As long as I don't frighten you. This circuit brings me lots of memories, and this car that we raced for the last 3 years, it's nice to be back in it. And
I can imagine. So I guess it was
all fond memories as well.
It was performing pretty well for you to be able to win the TT.
Well, the interesting thing about that race, of course, is that the Cup was first awarded to Seagrave in 1932.
Right.
So, and Rowe and I have won that race here with this car. So, big long list of all previous winners, even Sterling Moss, people like that. And here is 250 short wheelbase Ferrari winning in 2013 and 2014.
That's great. That's nice. And that's great that it's still the Seagrave Cup. It's real history to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
real history.
But it's a lovely car to drive. I mean, the V12 is always beautiful sound, as you can hear from this.
It really sings, isn't it, when you're sort of up in the revs? It's quite...
This is a real race car.
You were saying to me earlier that it's actually really good on the brakes compared to the E-Types. These were a lot more sort of advanced compared to the
amazing. The E-Type and this car came out about the same time.
Yeah.
The 363, the E-Types have to run in period.
Right.
So, and these were the brakes that the car came out with in the 60s, and were much more superior than the E-Type. And when we were racing against the E-Type, they had a slightly bigger engine. This is only a 3 litre, but theirs was 3.8, and they were a little bit more powerful than us. So I had trouble keeping up with them for the first few laps. But then their brakes started to go.
And that's when you came back on them.
And then these brakes were still good right until the end of the race.
The handling of this car is fantastic, isn't it? Sort of really neutral and easy. And
so beautifully balanced.
That's what it is. But yeah, there is something about that 12-cylinder Ferrari going around Silverstone. It's like a dream come true, isn't it?
Shall we just open her up down the straight here, Max?
Let's do that, yeah, so we can listen to it.
Yes, because it's such, when you put your foot down in it, it's such an exhilarating car. Not bad for an old girl, is it?
Oh, wow. I'd say it's rather amazing.
120 miles an hour for a grandmother. No, when I drove into the pits here the last time with this car, we'd won the race, and all the members in there were all waving and cheering and everything else.
I must have been a happy man seeing this Ferrari win the race in Silverstone. Jackie, that was amazing. Thank you so much for that lap. That was really quite something. Thank you so much.